evening, everyone. It's 5:44 on the clock. The 5 of the Hierophant, the 44 of the 4 of Cups, which can be boredom and apathy, but it's also grounding, integrating, receiving of love, and what you find worth in and value. And we have the main read on the table for the Twin Flames, as well as a Metatron read from this morning, and I did a message of the day for you guys as well. We're going to roll the die and get going. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to you guys. You can go ahead on your own and take a few more deep breaths. Make sure you oxygenate well every day. We're going to roll the die, see what's coming up for you guys. It's the 25th today, which is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is all about getting busy, passionate and busy. The day adds up to 32, which is the 6 of Wands. And the 6 of Wands is very much like the Knight of Wands. So it's like two buddies going out and painting the town, or going shopping, going to the gym, working out, vacationing, having fun, right? Loving life. So for the Twin Flames, what's coming up today? We have the 5, which is all about change, freedom, expansion. We have the Sagittarius, is that Sag, or the planets? It's, yeah, no, it's the planets. So that's Mars, rather. And then we have Aquarius. So we have, and Mars is all about that Scorpio energy. Aquarius with the water, and the 5 is the Hierophant, which is also Taurus energy. And Scorpio and Taurus are on each other's axis. And then we have Aquarius. And we're in Aquarius. So there you go. And Aquarius crosses them on that axis. So you have all the square, right? So what are you missing here? You're missing Leo, right? Because Leo would be across from Aquarius. So let's see how that's all coming up in the read. All right, so the Metatron read, here's the picture of my Metatron read. Okay. And let's see here. It was interesting yesterday too. After I had done my Lyra meditation read yesterday, all the information about my meditation, I don't know much about Lyra, so I looked it up to see what kind of stuff might sync with what I was getting. And there's some funny little things in the description in Wikipedia regarding Lyra. So they were talking about, it's all about the eagle and the talons. One of the names is the talons of the swooping eagle, which is exactly the meditation I told you guys about from my harmonic egg experience, but I had experienced the eagle at the eagle's nest before that. So I very much identify with the relationship of the eagle. But this is that eagle who's lost their love and basically flies around forever in grief, not accepting any other invitations, right? And one of the stars was a yellow dwarf, and yellow was the only color that came up yesterday. And it literally said easily seen with binoculars. And I was talking about the double O's with the 1, which look like the little binoculars you'd use for the theater or something like that. So those were coming up. And there's some other stuff that I was resonating with for sure in the Lyra explanation. And also the shape of Lyra is like a rectangle and an angle with a triangle at the top, which is where Vega is. And what it reminds me of, there's a couple things, but one thing that came up is those giant crayons that you keep all your crayons and pencils in with the top open. That's what it looks like. So it's all about using your imagination, the crown of the pyramid, and opening it up to the universe. But it's also on a slant, the way the rectangle is. So it would be kind of like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So I don't know if that's coming up for someone. And it's right near Hercules as well. The eagle with Orpheus's lyre in the wings of his beak, or in his wings or in his beak. And then Hercules right next door. And also the energy of Lyra, the Lyran people having no place to go back to, which resonated very much with me just floating out in space all the time. So, again, then I was writing the word line, right? Because the line is the connection between two dots or 2 points. And of course, in the constellation, it's all about the line and Lyra, and they're very close in energy there. And also, by the way, there's a big, like a famous ring nebula in Lyra. That's Messier 57, which I kept talking about nebulous energy, which isn't, I wouldn't normally bring that word up, but it was, that energy going throughout the whole meditation. So Lyra was coming up as that L of the right angle, the perspective at 0 point of the Y, and the R is my safety pin, but without the 2 circles at the bottom, which is the 2 rings that came up yesterday that need to go at the bottom of the pin in order to push that R lower leg out, and it becomes the point of the pin. And then to initiate housing, which is the top or the P, and the TP that's grounded, that capital A is a TP grounded, or then the rocket taking off. So both grounding the TP in order for them to take off. The line was coming up as the right angle, and the I of the I am, and the Christ energy here, the perspective of self. Line is how you see yourself, like you give yourself a line about yourself. So that was coming up. So getting into the Metatron message for today, oh, it was funny too about the pyramid on top of Lyra, because Sam the illusionist was talking about in his channeling today putting a pyramid on your head. And remember, even if I recommend a site, that doesn't mean you have to believe everything they say, because I don't necessarily resonate with everything I hear on multiple sites, because sometimes those different sites may disagree in opinion on certain things. So you have to make up your own mind about what is true for you. Don't forget that. So the Metatron Reed, the power went off first of all. So I have people working to put my basement back together after my flood last month or 2 months ago now. And as soon as they got here, like 10 minutes in, the power went out. And it wasn't bad, actually. Usually it takes at least a couple hours for them to get the power back up. But it was an hour, and it was back up. So that was great. As soon as, it was so funny, because I thought of it right before the power went on. And I'm like, well, it's not so bad. At least it'll be on by lunch. And then as soon as I said that to myself, the power went back on. It was really cool. So the underlying energy, the bottom of the deck was the Ancestors card, which is all about the energetic exchange and the arrows of love. We also had blessings in the wake-up call of aligning with your synchronicities in the underlying energy. And the first card out was the priorities of the Queen of Swords. And that 52 is coming up as significant. You know how in block letters, the 5 and the 2 reflect each other? And again, it's the War Widow, the Queen of Swords. The colors that came up: pink, blue, gold, orange, and white perhaps at the end. I pulled one extra card at the end. That was white. But that's the King of Swords energy about clearing, which definitely that card needed to come out because the King of Wands was off balance again. And again, the King of Wands can be the masculine energy within you as well. So don't forget that, because we both carry the masculine and the feminine. So the pink is all about the compassion. And then the blue is more the throat chakra in this deck, because we have indigo as well. We have the gold of the Christ unity consciousness and sudden events, actually, the epiphany. And the orange of that physical body energy of releasing that sexual energy as well, that creative energy. And the orangutan came up yesterday. It came up again today. So those islands I brought up yesterday, they'll come up again. They were very significant, and it was very interesting. Very different energies were coming up from each island. So this is the way the message went. And the only elements that came up in this read were fire. Is that the only one? I think so. Yeah, fire was the only element that came up here. But that was right next to also the King of Wands and duality that he needs to rebalance. So it was funny because when I was starting this read, the power was out, and I can't see the cards very well without the light, without my little reading lamp here. And then all of a sudden the lights went on. And that was at 10:41 when the lights went on. 41 is the Ace of Cups, self-love, spiritual love, new love. And at 10:58, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and that high vibration and destiny, and the 58 of the Four of Swords, for me is the 5D connection. And the first card out in the underlying energy was about blessings and Thanksgiving every day. That energy of the horn-shaped basket with the good food in it of all different colors. The synchronicities, the choices that you have, and feeling blessed for having all the choices that we have. Heaven in your eyes, which is your imagination. And I'm getting Imagine from John Lennon. And wake up to the alignment, the good food, and take note, and song. The clarion call home and forward. Again, there's thanks here for the past, but then calling your future ancestors in and through to power up with abundant universe. Call out to those that you appreciate and want to connect with going forward, expressing all that you are. The collective ancestry is all of you in the energetic exchange, the arrows of love. The first card out was Big Bird, which is that triangle rainbow and wings coming out of it. As the birds told me, they see me like that. So they see humans as like them, but bigger with this big triangle of color in the middle of our bodies. So Big Bird, and of course Big Bird traditionally is yellow. There's a lot of yellow in this card as well. With the rainbow and the rainbow triangle and the wings, the pyramid crown, and imagination to fly with. The Queen of Swords with her priorities, right? She's a very logical woman. And then they were putting together the 52, which in block letters, the 52 together comes up like a signpost. And then I put together again the EE backward and forward that I did yesterday because they were aligning with that same kind of energy. So that's the 52. And then this is the E back to back, the kind of E that came up in the card yesterday. And this is them together, which was coming up as that shield that I saw in my meditation with the heart in the middle of it, which is how the shield that I was in to run my own ship through that sexual energy that had built up all through my body and up to my head. The heart shield, we'll call it. So what's good for your body, your avatar, and your freedom or golden wings? And remember, in wing, that's two U's in God, source, creator, love, whatever you want to call the energy we all share. The inner child, ask your inner child what's weighing on you today. Who are you today? Mother, child, and teen were coming up here. What's at the root of the family tree on lockdown? And does that expression actually trigger you? What limits your freedom? Or is someone or something clipping your wings? Why don't you, what don't you do because your parents wouldn't approve of it, and or vice versa? The key to freedom rings. Into the womb or the life bulb, and compassion, self-love, and nurture to inspire you to be present in the moment, held by the mothering, but not smothering, because smothering is Sophia, the S of Sophia plus mothering, because Sophia can be too much love for some. Just be and allow, and become and allow ants, or develop and reward. Feel good, release, and allow ants, not just the mother or the grandmother, or they don't have to be army ants either, just the friendly type. So then I felt into my inner child, and I was getting my little girl. She was kind of like just drained the other day when I went in, and just feeling depleted of energy, and just kind of like fell into my lap to just be held. But now she's kind of like, I initially saw her like that, and then all of a sudden she just went back to work. So she was good again, feeling fine. But the little masculine was like my son when he'd suck his thumb when he was little, feeling insecure. So there's that kind of energy coming up in the masculine energy. So back to work, and it was funny because I was getting my daughter with my inner child, and we're very much alike, but I was getting her specifically today, and I was getting my inner child going back to work, but I saw my daughter more in that role than myself. And I was seeing her as getting back to work like the carpenters who were working downstairs. But I was seeing my son on the masculine side in that very insecure energy of sucking his thumb when he was a little, little baby boy. So, and I was guided to do a drawing with my children in it. So maybe you might want to do that too. Maybe identifying the traits of both of your children within yourself and your inner children and how that goes together. And, what wounds of yours are you not seeing that you can see through your children? At 11:22 then, which is Justice and the Fool's Journey, and the two pictures of my children I was getting to combine into one was when they were little, they were very different, right? My daughter, if I was like trying to get to work on time and she was just standing there and she wouldn't get dressed, and she would never throw temper tantrums. She wasn't like that at all. She was very mature and level, but she wouldn't move in the morning. Like if I told her she had to go get dressed, I'd come and she'd just come out and look at me like I was crazy as I'm about to blow my top because I had to get to work or I'm going to get fired, that type of energy. So for her, it's just standing there with this calm smile on her face, where my son was the opposite, right? If I got upset with him, he'd be very upset about that. And again, just seeing him as a little boy with his thumb in his mouth and his curly blonde hair. So the gold energy was coming up here for the sudden replenishment, right? The epiphanies that we have. The heart feeding the family tree for Big Bird to relax in. So literally for you guys to put the tree back together so that you can sit in the whole tree comfortably with the whole family. Healing the family tree, as you heal them, you also heal you, and vice versa. The Akashic Records, again, is the Akash, a.k.a. it's the library, at 11:23, which is Justice and the King of Wands. The wise bookman, right? The masculine who's logical and reasonable, right? Is the bookman. The wise bookman, and notice Bookman is that the Jeffersons? I can't remember what show Bookman was from. He was the jerk, not the tenant, the guy who rents to them. I can't think of the name of what that is. Okay, so the Akash, aka the wise bookman, is in to review. It's time for accounting. And then Matthew in the Bible is the taxman, and the bookman is the landlord. That's what I was trying to think of. Or the rent lord. So all the things about monitoring your money are coming up now, right? Because it's tax season with Matthew the taxman and Bookman. This is about the masculine and the logical man making sure all the books are right, whereas the feminine is more into her heart tuition energy. This is all the logical stuff that as the feminine, your inner masculine is going into right now. It's all about the books and not the intuition. I was just getting the institution as well. The intuition and the heart. Again, the separation of knowledge and science, but without love and compassion, and then lacking imagination and kindness as well when you don't add the heart into that. The sudden wisdom from the heart is much easier to learn and communicate directly from the heart. The message in the bottle, the you that's inside of you, not the shell without worth, but the sealed instrument with a message of great worth, and the sound of music. Speak up and be heard. It is music to their ears. The herd is also the pack, the collective perspective. And then Miss Mary Mac was coming up. And by the way, I was doing that right before I started. There's something about the energy, do Miss Mary Mac. Because you start out crossing your heart, and then you slap your legs with your arms apart again, and then you clap your hands together, and that's when you start, cross slapping somebody else's hand, but you're meeting right hand to right hand and left hand to left hand, and there's something about the energy lines and crossing the center energy line, which was very good that they want us to do that. That's why Miss Mary Mac was coming up. So I was doing Miss Mary Mac, that coordination right before the reading. So if you're not familiar with Miss Mary Mac, you can look that up. But it's literally just about crossing the masculine and feminine sides of your body to balance them. So, Miss Mary Mac, you cross your heart, you slap your legs, and then you clap, and you then connect with someone else crosswise, masculine to masculine, feminine to feminine, and then back to yourself to blend and self-balance. So don't do the balancing with the other, balance within yourself, and then reach out masculine to masculine and feminine to feminine. The twin flames are untying the karmic knots in the electromagnetic grid, and again, the energy of the two diamonds coming together, like the Vesica Pisces is two circles coming together, right? The two circles has a petal in the middle when they cross over, but the two diamonds have a smaller diamond in the middle when they cross over. And remember that the diamonds can be the circle. It's just the arc of energy that's missing from the diamond when it becomes a circle, when there's energy being connected from point to point. Two diamonds, or diamonds as part of dimension, D-I-M-E-N-S, in the connection in the sky, the right angle, remember Lucy in the sky with diamonds, that Lucy is the L of the right angle, the U, C, and the Y of the 0 point field. The right angle, you see the purple moon. The Two of Cups, which is the 1 to 1, right? Two lines with a horizontal line between them, just like the ladder of DNA and the helix. Go with the flow and paddle on. And then I was looking at this picture of my kids, speaking of my kids, so I had to bring them back up again because there's a message there. They were in one of those swan boats when they were young. And it was funny because it's number 28, which is our address. But it's really funny because my daughter's laughing and my son's mad at her. And he's 5 years older than her, so it's just a really cute picture. So the needle and the double-headed opening there that was coming up as the galactic core, that it's not a black hole, it's actually a throughway back and forth, right? The push and pull all at once, it's that quantum energy. And the thread of connection from core to core, from galaxy to galaxy, and the plasma wise ones that are without bodies or physical incarnation. The orangutans were coming up, and again, the orange utans, the human subgroups, or human outsider, vegetarian or third party, and the horse-horse merger of the horse that neighs and the horse throat. And then the two islands came up again from yesterday, Bornea and Sumatra, both in the Indonesian area there. And I was getting, again, that's where we're going to find the portal glowfish and the fluorescent plant there. And the orangutans were coming up. I don't know if the orangutans are just coming up to identify those islands, or if there's another reason, something going on with the orangutans. There's something connected to us as humans. And also the orangutan being the redhead. And I told you that came up yesterday because one of the guys working doesn't look very red anymore, but he was a redhead. And there's, by the way, the redheads, and you know who they are, but you're probably not thinking of it. Right? And I told you about the bird yesterday who was white with black stripes, really beautiful with red on his head. And redheads are the Rothschilds. It literally means red. You know, a red child, which is a redheaded child. So there's some very negative energy that was coming up with that. And so when I looked up the definitions of Bornea and Sumatra, some of them were, both bad and evil came up in both definitions, with the AE and the ATRA. Both had that definition of bad or evil. But the difference is the Sumatra was all negative and sinister, very dark. But the Bornea was not. It was balanced, more light than dark. The only dark in the definition was that definition of bad and evil. But the rest of it had to do with sovereignty and the air that you breathe and the life force. The group being on that side, but perhaps shy or ashamed. The river and running water, the stream, the energy of the feminine, the yes in the now moment, and ever at any time. So there's very positive energy, mostly coming up for Bornea, but Sumatra came up defined as the sum of all evil, literally. So Sumatra, I don't know if there's an evil portal there. That could definitely be coming up, but Bornea may be the island where we find the illuminated plant. So I'm very interested now to find that out. Okay, so Sumatra, the sum of all evil and unlucky. Bornea, born to rise from shame and evil. Moving water in the now moment at any time. Any means at least one, or one at all. It also means the year and the bird, or to go, one, some, only. And also one of the original words was AE, which is ash, or bright light in Pleiadian, and then NIG. So it's coming up as the ash, or light ink, and fish. And I was getting the Incas connection. I know I have a connection to the Incas because that was one of the past lives I've always seen where I was a Mexican Indian. So the Incas are coming up again as we're coming up, confirming with me the type of Indian I was. And not only that, but the Incas had come up for me yesterday or today. I was thinking of them before this for no reason. They just came into my head. And then the Incas were coming up here again as well. But there's also a line in one of my songs called Annals. And the annexes and annals were coming up this week. So it was very fitting. And in my line of my song, I say, I am the ink. And then that was confirming the Incas as well. So the Incas came up, and the ink, and the annals, and the annexes, and the redheads of the Rothschilds. It's not associating all redheads with Rothschilds, but that's coming up as that energy, right, of the old and the dark. And the Bornea and Sumatra. The Bornea is coming up as the horse, the animal, the horse, and the Sumatra is coming up as the blocked throat chakra. They are not the same, even though they're islands, I guess, close to each other. At 11:59, that was the 11th hour, literally the minute before 12. So stretch is right at 12 o'clock right here. Stretch to release in a physical way. Connect and attune. With pure love light. Give up your love light and energy projects. When I put the two diamonds together again, for the two diamonds that cross over each other, they also come up as two sigmas together. But when you cross them, there's also the diamond in the middle, which was then syncing with the double E's I was showing you earlier, and I'll show you that again. But stretch to release that stuck energy in your body to connect and attune. Give your love light. And there may be definitely some new project or room for a child or making a baby kind of energy here. Giving energy to a project or to Gaia, the mother, to the roots and the beaches, the connections to the waterways. The water, like the dolphin, will always bring you home again. Moving water, not the still waters that run deep, but the moving waters. Stretch up and lunge and then retreat to the void, which is the VO-ID. Or in other words, VO is to be worth. U, ox, which is kisses and hugs. To wash or make into a ball interdimensionally. The creation of humanity, or the creative human interdimensionally, is the void. The purple moon. And then null and void was coming up because they wanted you to understand that null and void are not the same. There was a very negative connotation with the null because it's not good for us, right? The portals are good for us, but not the nulls. And that could be the dark energy centers. But the void, again, is what I was just talking about, right? The 0 point energy. The null is like the outside energy, outside of us. It's not good. The void inside is very good. It's not the same. 12, and this is what I'm getting. You can agree or disagree. It doesn't matter to me, but this is the download that I was getting. 12 faces of the cosmos, mirroring the divine feminine with source support. And then I was getting that energy of the 12 strands of DNA all lined up with the lines between of the genetics and the chromosomes. The 12 strands interconnected ladders. And again, the shape of Lyra was coming up again, like the giant crayon with a lid, right? The peak of the crayon is the top that opens up. With the crown opening or closing and the pyramid on top, the human male sheep. Remember, this is pyramid, pi, ram, ID. The human male sheep interdimensionally. A pencil that opens at the top, or a point that breaks off, or a crayon holder, like I told you. And then Om was coming up, the AUM space, there's a fourth energy there. And then crystalline DNA was coming up along with the purple moon and the void 0 point. And periwinkle again, per I win key, or 2 U's in key. At 12:16 was the hanging man in the tower. Rest, pause, as the cosmos mirrors that there's a time out needed. A new dawn and a high vibe energy in a welcome back to the sun. The dragon strength, the fire and the sun and the pyramid, which is the masculine energy, and the balance of the human male sheep interdimensional ID, that the King of Wands needs balancing because there's too much fire here From fall to winter, they need to purify with the King of Swords and his innocence at 12:21. The underlying energy was basically summarizing the dinner call home, but back to the future. The first section was the big bird and the tree divided, right? The family tree that's been divided, but needing to grow back together so that big bird has a comfortable place to hang out on and branch. Growing back together, always locked at the roots with the love light, the holy grail of the womb and the heart, and the diamonds of the Vesica Pisces, the two circles or two diamonds coming together. The diamonds, die and ments, the two hearts as one. And so again, so when the two diamonds coming together vertically, right, two side by side, and then vertically, you see how there's a sigma there, but there's also a diamond in the middle. So when it's getting down to here, you see the diamond there, it was relating back to this shape that came up with the diamond in the middle and the threes that were coming together. The two is one connection. And again, the one way the E's were coming together was like the shield with the heart in the middle of it that came up for my meditation. Two is one connection, and a diamond or petal in the middle, the monkey or monk key, the entry point, the access, and the energetic exchange or arrows of love, and the two sides of the family tree coming together with Big Bird in the middle. And remember that Atlantis, the NTI in Atlantis, that if you take it out and it becomes Atlas, that word means tree, right? So it's like Atlas is there without a family support system, right? And so here's that same energy of Big Bird coming in to put this tree that's been split in half back together again. And remember that it's not just about the pyramid, because that's the masculine energy, but the diamond, which is the masculine diamond, or the masculine triangle and the feminine triangle. Both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, or the diamond, an energetic exchange of love in the electromagnetic field, or in other words, doing grid work. So perhaps some traveling is coming up for you, or maybe you've been traveling recently. The second column is all about the womb of the mother and the inner child of the divine masculine. The womb being just a shell or a disguise for the masculine to hide under his mother's purse strings. The life bulb, it's not the light bulb for the man, it's the life bulb for the child. Not the light bulb that the man needs to turn on for himself. Inspired to wise review, aka library, and going with the flow, 1-to-1, which is also referencing the two cups and the phone line, but also the DNA strands, right, with the chromosomes, trying to reach out to each other. In the chromosomes from strand to strand, the rungs of the ladder reaching out to touch the other side, with space in the middle for patterning, flowing down the river. The third column was at 12:38, which is the Hanging Man and the Queen of Cups. And the divine feminine loving child, who are you reaching out to today? The mother holds you when you're blue and is present to your gifts that she gave you. Maybe she's one of the few people who understands your gifts. Let them out, stretch and release, speak and sing. Your mother is talking to you now. Shuffle. Then I got a couple new decks too. Maybe I'll pull one from one of them. So that was the Metatron Reed, and here's the message of the day. And this was at 3:33, by the way. So here's the message of the day. There we go. So for the message of the day, at 3:33, oh, by the way, 3 6s and 9s were definitely coming up today, because I was like balancing my books too, and I was getting like a couple 3 6 9s. There's a lot of Tesla energy coming up here. So we have 333 here with the message of the day, with the underlying energy again. The horse coming up was the first card out on top, along with the 2 swans, the magician reversed, and the message, which is with the Chariot energy as well. So Mr. Ed, who's also coming up as Mr. Extra Dimensional, plus the 2 swans, right? The 2 hearts as one, but I can also reference the third energy, and the Queen of Wands with the Magician reversed, who may be insecure and without tools, or perhaps really manipulative, regarding a message, the Chariot, the vehicle of infiltration, while the Crow in the underlying energies is standing guard over the collective awakening, with the Dragonfly, right, 2 as 1 in that heartbeat as they join together, and the fish out of water, or perhaps the fish feeling like a third, right, and not welcome. And that was coming up with the orangutan as well, right, the outsider. The stingray activated and plugged in to that collective that is sealed. The dragon's eye and the horse, or make that Dr. Ed to you, or Dr. Fish, or perhaps Sting, or is a dragon fish, or a fly fish, or maybe there's a drag. It's about the energy of the collective awakening really dragging on the energy of the fish or the fly here. Or again, we had a short power outage, and that was coming up here as well. A sudden dark energy that came in. It was coming in from the bottom of the ocean. So that's what they're telling us here. The power outage had to do with a sudden dark energy that came up from the bottom of the ocean floor, but also the field as well. And then I was getting field and stream. Coming up from the ocean floor, but cleared very quickly, with the dragon and the horse keeping an eye on the collective. The gatekeepers are now stepping down. It's time to do it on your own with the collective, right? Because you guys are all ready for the collective. The power lady with power support or energy company, feeling blessed with spirited home or spiritual home and union of maturity and peace with that, it's like the energy of having that union of maturity and peace with that special one, or someone dreaming of it, or just, imagining it as they're manifesting it in. Perhaps juggling or performing in the past, with the truth out of frustration and lack of passion or fun, suffering in silence, or a sister with no reciprocation of feelings, or only petty arguments, blocks, and delays, or just not telling what you really feel. With the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Swords reversed, along with the Magician reversed, or that the Queen of Wands, or Leo energy here, may be a false person, or hiding behind a mask, perhaps a duo regarding the big house, or a big house, and a gated community, or snobbery around the Queen of Cups, who works very hard, or perhaps they're unable to make as much money as their neighbors here. This is this snobbery energy of somebody looking down at someone because of where they live or how much money they might make, or maybe they work at a blue-collar job type of thing. So again, the Queen of Cups is coming up as working really hard, but perhaps not making much money. And this could be someone too who didn't have a career and had to go back to work. So maybe they don't have the ability to find something that's high paying, that kind of thing. And this was at 407, which is the Emperor and the Chariot. So someone who doesn't have much adjudication of a union or a home, with main male number 1 and Atlas leaving the wounded warrior behind. Perhaps for a new path in the high vibe journey of inspired great fortune, abundant marriage with a message to bring. And the first section was the unicorn and the hawk, the etheric guard, and the grid work, clearing on the move. Unicorn home destined with the Knight of Cups community, and the hawk perhaps could be FTD coming in with flowers or gifts for the hermit, or by the hermit, Libra, or justice for lady at 28, or looking out the window expecting. And 28, don't forget, is the twins. Looking out the window expecting, or expectations placed upon her. Destined justice here with truth and balance, the Emperor and the Hermit, and there could be Aries, Libra, and Virgo Libra here. She keeping things clear in the 3D for him to work things out through the 3D physical, and he clearing the air with their gifts, correcting an imbalance with her, or he with too much attention of a group and their family, and she without that attention but gifted and gifting herself at 4:15, which is tax day. Very interesting. The 4 of the Emperor and the 15 of the Devil, or the Shadow. Or drilling at the house, or clearing debris or a garden, or one having a drink after work while another is home waiting for them. The second section here is the Moth and the Spider, where fools rush in and spiders fear to tread, stuck in a web, polarized shadow bear pushing for their agenda on behalf perhaps of the Page of Wands reversed, or maybe it's not really on behalf of them, and maybe this is a an adult living vicariously through their child. So the Page of Wands reversed may be an official or officially on the fool on a journey, or somebody's perspective of them, or seen as out of control with an official message with a child, or just the wrong one. Like it's like, don't mess with me, you just messed with the wrong person. So whether it's a child or this is the adult acting like the Page of Wands reverse, which is kind of a scary energy because it's very irresponsible. We have the spider in the web with doors to open, to clear or to work on, to finish and get paid, or needing closure. There could be a stage mother here for sure, living vicariously through their child, or tricking them to get them out of their hair. And this came up in a movie I watched the other night too. Oh, that was weird. You know, it wasn't a great movie, but there was one scene or situation in the movie about a father who got caught by his daughter cheating with her friend. And so the father bribes her to not tell anyone. Like it's typical to do it this way, like doing business with his daughter. So he pretends to give her a $20 million shell company so she'll get off his back and won't tell the mother. And meanwhile, it's just a shell, you know, it's not really worth anything. It's that same kind of energy right here where the parent's like trying to trick the child, to manipulate them, to get them to follow their agenda. So one may be about to go on the journey and the other's world is upside down, feeling a fool. With Capricorn and then Aries reversed and Pisces reversed, perhaps not getting what they were promised, or a foolish deal. Perhaps they rushed in and then got stuck. The third section here is the elk and the worm, the hothead and the newbie, who's very intimidated easily. They're keeping their pure energy to themselves. The elk with self-love, perhaps diving deep to stand up for themselves and make an announcement to the prior group there that they're leaving after feeling impoverished. Or he's swallowing his pride to reach out to a boy or son who left to see if they can get them to come back. And the son could be the King of Cups energy, or the newbie who was released or quit and praying for work now, or about the energetic exchange or hours of love. With Aquarius, water, and fire here, perhaps the King of Wands or Emperor and the King of Cups. The fourth section here is the gazelle, the zebra, and the crocodile. And it's like the gazelle and zebra together, but the crocodile is off to the side. The graceful gazelle and the eclectic zebra. And don't forget the croc. And that could be a croc of you-know-what. At 429, which is the Emperor and the Three of Wands being present in the moment, or gifts. The gazelle's trying to get through the maze, or the labyrinth, or amazing grace, to come together with the Emperor reversed, who may be imprisoned at present, or anxious about their gifts. The zebra is traveling, or with abundant ship, to see the Queen of Wands reversed as the main female, number 2, or the Emperor reversed who's imprisoned on a cruise with the Queen of Wands reversed, as the crocodile is waiting patiently for them to come their way or come near them because they're ready to pounce, or waiting for a delivery, like drooling. The brass ring, the adventure, or Aries are waiting for them to come in for a payout of a fortune, or to bring home a gift, a big expensive one. They could be unhappy parents gifting a child with a trip or a cruise, but the parents don't want to be there with each other. It's not because of the child. It has to do with them not wanting to be there together. Or expecting a big present when they return, or to settle out upon return. Or the Emperor reversed and the Empress, if she is the Queen of Wands reversed, may be stuck together on a trip for the sake of the child. Or one is expecting one kind of proposal, or some kind of proposal of dreams to come true while on an adventure, or perhaps on a cruise ship. We have Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, Aries, and Pisces, and Aquarius energies here. The Emperor's reversed, the Queen of Wands is reversed, and both of them look like they're shelling out a lot of money for another, or perhaps for one for the other. The fifth section here is the deer one and the lamb, very sweet energies, right? Very doe-eyed, and the lamb who's a target. Perhaps getting flying lessons and landing or aiming for the target on the strip. And that could be jumping out of a plane as well. Or the new mom with their child, or just sweet kids. And the dear King of Cups with a time crunch, reaping rewards at the courthouse with the King of Wands or legal paperwork. The lamb is suddenly a star, perhaps, but imprisoned by the man with concerns or legalities of martyrdom. Or the lamb is like a Christ-like man, or experienced galactic abduction, and the deer is collapsing timelines, or bailing someone out of jail, or the father's in court with their children, defending the children, or the child got their own legal counsel to fight the parent in court. Pisces, Scorpio, and fire here, with the King of Cups, King of Wands, and sudden events. And then the sixth section is the fox and the cobra. The fox in a lover's breakthrough, and that can be family as well. Post-war with a mature woman, whether it's a lover or mother, Gemini or twin, definitely involved family, with Cobra teacher, and Cobra Kai could be coming up as well. And then the Knight of Cups taking a chance with the peacock bird, or maybe somebody who's got peacock coloring. The Page of Pentacles is aligned with justice and hit the jackpot or sudden wealth. Post-war invitation or opportunity. Perhaps an inheritance from their mother, aunt, grandmother, or partner. Or mother is spying on a child on a cruise because the child's in the gambling area flirting with someone. Right? So the child could be flirting with this strange bird, and the mother may not approve of this, of the gambling or the person. Or there could be a divorce that's finally over, and a child or Knight of Cups or Page of Pentacles, those two may be feeling like kids again, like they hit the jackpot at 458, which is the Emperor and the Four of Swords. Yeah. All right, now back to the main read for the twin flames. And again, keep Lyra in the back of your head too, because that's coming up again. All right, so here's the main part of the read from the SIRIAN Starseed deck for the twin flames, the read that's on the table. And here is the complete 7-deck read that you see. For those of you not familiar with my reads, the 7 decks here are Romance Angels. This is the SIRIAN Starseed deck, the Rider-Waite Mini, the Tarot of Sexual Magic, the Numerology deck up there, Universal Golden, and then the Gilded Tarot is back there. And then I do Oracle cards at the end. And of course we have the dice here too, which we're talking about Scorpio and Taurus axis, as well as Aquarius, because we're in Aquarius right now. So the constellation of Lyra, and if you're interested, go look up Lyra to see some information about that. There may be some things that resonate with you there. And the eagle. And you notice I have an eagle out there on the table. No, you can't because it's all blurry. You see my eagle right there. So we have the SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut and dealt at 11:35, which is Justice and the Wounded Warrior. And then at 11:47, Ven of Crystals came up. So V-E-N, and however you read that, that could be creation of energy of Christ, and then crystals is being Christ-like, so it's very much that kind of energy. And I'm getting venerable from Ven as well, which would go along with that Christ energy. 11:47, 47 is the 7 of Cups, of synchronicities and having choices and options, or heaven in your eyes. Also can lead to confusion if there's too many choices. And the, let's see, the major arcana was, I finished clarifying right at 12 on the dot a.m. last night. The star, the solar deity, which is the sun. Before the read was the Starseed, which is the Fool. And then after the read, the Strength card, which usually Strength card's Leo, but in this deck I get more Sagittarius energy from it. 4 Pentacles, 3 Wands, and 2 Cups. There were no swords in the main cards anyway. So 4-3-2 came up right here. And then the Queen of Wands was the only main player in the main read. We have the 9 of Pentacles, or sovereign energy there as well. So there could be some kids around for sure. The Page of Wands is there before the read, along with the 9 of Swords. So they may be depressed. And then we have the cards that came up after the read were the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. And as far as the numbers, we had triple sevens. 777 hitting the jackpot, along with double ones, double fives, double nines, and double tens. The 11 of Justice, the 55 of the Truth, the Ace of Swords, Excalibur, the 99 of Compassion, and selflessness, endings, the collective consciousness, right? The Wise One, the Hermit. And then we have the 1010 of that very high vibration, a reminder to keep your vibration high. We also have the 15 of the devil, the 57 of the 3 of swords, the 79 for me is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and the 910 again, begin again, begin again. Every time you expand outside yourself or get off balance, always coming back to the heart and the present moment. The code, what else came up here? Oh, also the Hangman and the Knight of Wands, and the 2 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. So the code line was all about compassion, but it was broken up into co-impassionment, right? So again, the twin energies of impassionment. I'm not sure if that's the correct word, but it doesn't matter. That's the energy of it. And on the code line, it's all about the numbers. I got 510, but also 629. They're coming from the numbers 9, 110, and then 510 actually added up to 629, which is a really odd number. But if that means something to you, let me know. The messages came up as such. Sudden events. In those sudden event energies of that tower energy, toggle up to Sophia, into the divine feminine. The 9, the wise one, the hermit, but that's also the collective, right? The one for all and all for one. And then the 110 came up, which was coming up as a very significant number the other day. So I'm like wondering what that is. But it's also 110 is the 0 backing up the 11 of alignment, the 0 energy of source, and the truth and balance of the 11 and the alignment. And with the Queen of Wands here, to expand in the high vibe energy, to impassioned. Also to set Sophia, hermit, so that justice is backed up by source. So it's like setting Sophia up in a certain position as the hermit so that justice is backed up by source. The Queen of Wands and the King of Swords backed up by energy as opposed to source, which were coming up as different things. Right? Because we could talk about energy outside of ourselves like the power company. That also could be referencing that it's set up so that they only get their information directly from the source, whereas the Queen of Wands and King of Swords are backed up by things that are not from the original source. And again, co-impassioned. And this could be 2 people co-impassioned in a positive way who love each other, and 2 people co-impassioned in a deviant way, right? Trying to do something to somebody else together. And then we have to see the teaspoon, right? Like 2 spoons of sugar was coming up. And the timeout for Sophia, the collective divine feminine, the hermit collective, the 9, so that you ace that high vibrational energy when dealing with the Queen of Wands, who can get very fiery and passionate, or the Queen of Wands past the need to have, earn, serve, or to hold. The Queen of Wands was also coming up as the cheetah. So that can be a positive thing, and it can be being referenced to as the cheater. But again, co-impassioned here. We start this read with the 6 of Pentacles reversed and the 5 cards beneath. So just scoot it that way a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. This top card and then the mini cards on top. But the 5 cards below that 6 of Pentacles reversed on top are the 9 of Swords upright, the 7 of Cups reversed, the 2 of Cups upright, the Starseed reversed, and the Page of Wands reversed. So there could be a sister involved here. But again, the energy of suffering and silence, being stressed out, not sleeping at night, headaches, whatever is keeping you up at night, crying, purging. But dumping emotional attachments, or EA. The 2 cups, or 2 of Cups, lacking faith and inspiration. Imbalanced debt and not sharing at 1239, the Hanging Man and the Knight of Cups. Under the radar, taken down by the 5 of Swords enemy, or that can be yourself and you're facing your own fears. And the Hermit shedding light, coming clean, cleaning up, and or reaping rewards of the Queen of Swords reversed, as I just whistled. Whistle while you work. Dun, 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 dun. So that's definitely coming up again. And I'm staring at the tapestry that I drew for Lyra. When I looked up Lyra, I just did the drawings of the Lyra constellation, so if those shapes mean anything to you, you can check them out. And again, the 2 rings and the nebulous ring that's famous there is coming up again. And the right angle and the line. Remember, the line is the segment between 2 points. So it's always about seeing a different perspective to get a different meaning from something. So again, with the Queen of Swords reversed, we're bringing up the scorned woman, right? Because she's already depressed because she's lost, her warrior as the Queen of Swords upright. She's the war widow. But when she's reversed, she's either just gone silent or she's gone rogue, right? She could be very vengeful in that energy, or she can just be really, really hurt. At 1241, which is the Hanging Man and the Ace of Cups. The Five of Swords there, upright. That's the energy of being at war. And remember, it's being at war within, with your thoughts and your words, right? Because every war starts from within. It doesn't just happen for nothing. But that energy of being released from prison and dumping emotional attachments or gambling debts, dumping a load after a sudden event, or that could be dumping a lot of money on a child or something like that as well, or a big expense, or buying a house or a car, something like that as well. And then the Knight of Wands reversed and the Page of Pentacles reversed, fiery and earth signs there, standing up for themselves in a wake-up call, or called out, judged, no longer grieving the hermit shedding light on dumping a load, a burden, responsibilities, or a confession, letting go of little that's left in order to fix, repair, or make amends with someone, or with the Emperor in particular. No more working out so hard to build up calves. So again, this is people, who are obsessive about their different body parts and how we look, and we all do that. But there's also the energy of the floating gold coin, all for the Emperor, not for their own behalf. Putting roots down and fixing the roof, or ceiling, or tapping into savings or an emergency fund at 1250, which is the Hanging Man and the Ten of Cups. With Aries both upright and reversed, Virgo upright, Scorpio reversed, Aquarius upright, and Sagittarius reversed. All of those energies present in that exchange there. Awake to a heated exchange or a debate and delays right over their head, the Divine Feminine, the 5D, with the last word here though, or with delivery, or Capricorn or Pisces reversed, not telling their true feelings, and their world may be upside down. When the Knight of Swords comes rushing in, or Russian, or trophy shelf coming up here, perhaps of war heroes and sporting wins, yet the lion and the bull, and that could be Leon as well, yet the lion and the bull still can't break the seal. Now, isn't it, what was, and I'm not thinking of the Jeffersons, I'm thinking of, what's it called? With Aunt Esther? I'm just blanking out. But isn't it Leon, the son? But that's what I'm getting. So again, this energy of the masculine, right? They're all into their sports wins or trophies, or perhaps they have trophies of war heroes, but that very kind of masculine energy. And yet the lion and the bull, or Leon and bull, still can't break the seal to get to the Divine Feminine, because she's sealed. Worth waiting for and honeymoon both come up here, with Capricorn reversed or Pisces reversed, no longer inspecting every inch, or a hostage situation that's been released, drained in the need of sunshine or a vacation, with kids, pets, Leo, or ego out of control, with fallen angel, or a child who's been drinking or having sex, losing patience or temper, and the Page of Pentacles who never learns their lesson, and the Ten of Cups reversed who never help, or all are just dissatisfied, but the Page of Swords is upright, leaning on their truth, tired of all this crap, just for some damn old glass slipper. The wicked stepsister with big feet and no patience, and Cinderella with a really bad family, or just really depressed, or no emotional support. With abundance and the 88 of the twin flame dance between their masculines and feminines, and then beneath that, spiritual partnership with 27, which is the Ace of Wands, or that third energy. Walking away to implement a plan, falling and inspired, under the radar, the wounded warrior surrendering to the Hierophant, marriage, religion, or business, or Taurus, or perhaps fell for their trick. I keep getting this rumbling feeling, and I keep stopping because I'm trying to figure out what it is. Okay, it's fine. So religion, business, Taurus, or somebody fell for their trick. And again, that could be parents trying to scam their own child. Tweedledee and Tweedledum, somebody could be calling someone. The crowd is rebelling and the soldier is down behind the scene. At 108, which is the Magician and the 8 of the dance. or being strong and manifesting. We have Leo reversed, Sag reversed, Aries reversed, and Taurus upright. All 3 fire signs in a row reversed. And that was interesting because the Page, Knight, and Queen of Wands all came up together yesterday, reversed. So it's that same type of energy. And then Taurus is upright. The Hierophant may not be sharing, or that could be in a marriage, not sharing, with the Emperor upright as the Knight of Swords rushes in with a message from the Ten of Cups reversed family about the crazy eights and their abundance. Imprisoned, anxious, the Knight of Swords reversed, frustrated, or freaking out in prison, or anxieties or anxious and holding their tongue, unable to understand something. The Ten of Cups reversed, dissatisfied, or the cycle is just so over, with the wounded warrior guarded and the Chariot reversed, stuck, broken, or satisfied or arrogant about overexposure, and the Three of Pentacles reversed with issues at work or perhaps third-party interference. That could be financial issues as well. But out in the cold, awake, the Page of Cups, who's upright, and someone is awakened to this or to a loving message. Or Pisces is upright with Capricorn reversed and the Queen of Pentacles upright in need of some peace. So she can be the Capricorn right there. So maybe she's in need of some peace with some crazy kids or animals around her. At 121, which is the Magician and the World, the Ace of Cups is reversed in the recent energy here. Dumped, dumped on, dumping a load, overwhelmed, crying, purging, the High Priestess knowing and keeping to themselves. The Knight of Wands reversed, player falling short, or that could be someone not coming to the rescue this time. In a release with the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles, watching the Magician perform with all cards on the table, with the Page of Cups, loving message, and the Knight of Cups reversed, who may be rejected or feeling jealous, and the Page of Wands reversed may be all over the place or uninspired, or perhaps the kids are sick, and the Page of Cups is upright, the King of Cups is reversed, and the two of these guys are separated by the Knight of Cups reversed and the Page of Wands reversed. And twins, or by 6 degrees perhaps. Could be a family gathering here or a magic show where parents and children, they're all separated. Like they're not sitting with each other. They're all the opposite of the other. Like, so if one parent's upright, their child is reversed and vice versa. And they're not, the parents and children are all separated right there. Perhaps they're not getting along, and I'm losing my voice. But it's like the kids are getting along with each other, but none of them are getting along with their parents, and I can't talk for anything right now. They're not getting along with each other. The High Priestess is healing to choose a new path. Or forgive twin flame was coming up here. Reaping rewards or daydreaming or unsure of worthiness or their worth without sleep. Or if they come out about the awakening, will they really still be worthy? Or will, in their job, will there still be worth in what they do? But they could be sweating it out. The foundation here is the Nine of Pentacles, the Sovereign, announcing their discomfort or their uncomfortable emotions or the elephant in the room. With the Ten of Cups reversed family present or all unhappy and losing their patience, their temper, with Sagittarius reversed or fallen angel. The central energy is the Ten of Wands reversed, dumping a load, a burden, responsibilities, dumping emotional attachments, perhaps to a marriage, a religion, a business, or Taurus, and no longer confused about the one, knowing and keeping to themselves, but over it at present, with the King of Cups reversed and the Page of Cups upright with the Knight of Cups reversed, and the Page of Wands reversed is perhaps a friend or a cousin or a pet who's come along to keep the peace. With Taurus upright, Gemini upright, and Virgo upright here, the challenge being the Queen of Wands upright and the Queen of Swords reversed, who may be bitter about the instability, a move, a visit, or that the party's over, with a new passion offered in the slowdown from a lover on a quest to resolve issues at work, or Libra reversed and Gemini upright, fighting at work, with unstable home, avoiding a disaster, inevitable, or after a sudden event, epiphany, or a sexual exchange or explosion. And then the nightmare, that's no fantasy, with the Page of Pentacles reversed, who never learns their lesson, refusing to give up any information in a twist of fate, of inequity, of the Ten of Pentacles upright, family, business, or community. So here now we have the Montagues and the Capulets, where the Montagues are doing just fine and the Capulets are struggling in emotion here. With the Knight of Pentacles upright and the Knight of Cups reversed, and the lover's sister, or suffering in silence, or imprisoned by the King of Swords reversed, or a Taurus woman with an iron fist, or the King of Swords, who could be her cutthroat lawyer, or Gemini. At 141, the Magician and the Ace of Cups. So now crowning is the Five of Cups reversed, getting over the loss, the regret, the guilt, the shame, the past, with the Sovereign upright, strong, or Leo, and divided, split, or drained, perhaps saving, withholding, and playing hardball, tired of the issues at work and no peace in a marriage, the nightmare or the sex room for some, and release of energetic vampiring, or no love loss at work, discharged from a hospital, rehab, or jail, grounding and integrating imbalance or needing peace, with the Page of Swords or messages to say that the worst is over and the bliss is here. And I'm getting that again from Notting Hill, where Julia Roberts says, there are words to say. There are still words to say. The Page of Wands reversed is frustrated, sick and tired of delays and not expressing in petty arguments, tired of the King of Wands reversed and their issues or blocks, and letting go of the never-ending story at 147, the Magician and the Seven of Cups, of synchronicities and having choices and heaven in your eyes or your imagination. The Two of Cups upright out in the cold, injured and defensive with the wounded warrior, not sleeping or waking to injustices. And soon here for the twins is the Five of Wands upright, the Knight of Pentacles upright, and the Queen of Swords reversed, offering help or work to the Empress upright, with the King of Swords reversed, who may be pushed to the limit, trying to juggle daily, do the daily, or detoxing chaos with bad influences around, or social distancing issues and overindulgers, perhaps offering sex or growth or projects to Leo, who may be bored, or just taming the beast, grounding and integrating love and overwhelm in the pursuit of happiness. The twin flames seeing themselves as the Star card reversed, which is that need to heal and dream, or perhaps there's a bit of arrogance there, with the Queen of Cups upright, unable to sleep, or maybe there's a sister who can't sleep, or suffering in silence and stressed out at night, with the Queen of Pentacles upright and the King of Wands reversed, and the Emperor dumping a load on the Queen of Pentacles to heal with the King of Wands reversed, and the Page of Pentacles reversed in need of help from their family, the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, or just the Page of Pentacles never learns their lesson. With Aquarius reversed and Aries upright here, and past life relationship, make an effort and love yourself first. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the solar deity reversed, overexposed to the truth and being self-serving or arrogant, or tired of standing up to the Aquarius reversed, or depression over the other's happiness without them, or the unwillingness to listen or hear. The block here being the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, and foolish behavior or lack of faith, overwork or just not working out, and compassion coming up here, but even more so, adventure and time out. With the Three of Cups reversed and no reunion or no new start, the Divine Feminine's heart in the E-Tower at night, stuck or broken, or the Knight of Pentacles upright making an offer or gesture to jealous lover or Gemini in a two-bull split. Red hidden away. Right? There's the red coming up again, the redhead, right? Because with the bulls, you don't want the red flag around because they'll charge. So that could be someone who also charges up the credit cards. So again, gesture to a jealous lover or Gemini in a two-bull split. The red hidden away, and that can be Rothschild energy as well. And the lover suffering in silence, or sister suffering in silence from being ignored or verbal abuse of the Knight of Swords reversed. The Divine Feminine's heart rising above the injustice of the wounded warrior, defending and licking their wounds, with Sagittarius and Leo breaking through to the other side, or the Ring of Fire, Circle of Trust, and the Knight of Pentacles with an offer to the Queen of Cups, withholding from or saving for their twin and or a new path, or the Knight of Pentacles upright and the Queen of Cups are playing hardball, with Cancer both upright and reversed, Gemini, Scorpio's reversed, Libra reversed, Leo and Sag are upright here, and Atlas putting down the globe, the wounded warrior, dumping multiple emotions and passionate loads, confession perhaps, and the Sovereign who's over it, and Atlas, challenged by the Queen of Wands, who may be fighting with the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, And ego's out of control right there with stubbornness, arrogance, depression, and illness, and perhaps getting over all of it, or it all. And that's your read. So it's a pretty quick one today. Let's see what the oracles have to say. I'll have to pull one from the new deck. All right, where did I put it? So this one is the Shaman's Dream Oracle, I believe. So this is the back of the deck, just so you recognize the cards. And let's see what comes up with them today. I already pre-shuffled for a bit before, so. They're already kind of bent. Let's see. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. It might work out in the end. All right, let's see what comes up for you guys. Take a deep breath. It's 6:55 on the clock, which is the Lovers and the Truth. What is our takeaway from this read today? Being patient. Be patient, guys. All right, there's a couple cards that want to come up here. Oh, and I'm shuffling the cards backwards, but that's okay. These are the ones that came out. We have the 37, which is the King of Cups, and Unconditional Love, and it's the Magician's Sword. Confidence in your magic as the man of unconditional love. That's a beautiful energy. So having faith in yourself and your love. The 24 of the Queen of Wands with the galactic mushroom, and that's like the jellyfish plant, right, with the mushrooms? Because that comes up in another card too. This is the galactic mushroom. So I talked about the jellyfish mushroom plant, that, you know, the illuminated plant that's supposed to come to Earth and maybe coming from Bornea, the island, the divine matrix, and the galactic mushroom, and the magician's sword. Confidence in your magic and the divine matrix. And then we also have the 39, which is the Knight of Cups. What is that? Metox? Oh, it's like a detox, but metox. I couldn't understand if it was tox or fox, or what are they trying to say there? Kisses and hugs? That too. Repairing the mind, or the body, mind, and spirit. So it is kind of like a spa day type of energy. They're in a bathtub. Oh my gosh, and there's that Indian headdress that came from my picture from yesterday. I'm telling you, as soon as things come up for me, I see them all over the place the next day, whether it's in the movies or in the cards or the people I see. They just come up everywhere. So we have the sword, the mushroom, and the Me Too Day. And we have the Knight of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So it's interesting because, you know, we have the Queen of Cups should be here, right? Because we're the Knight, Queen, and King. But it's the Queen of Wands. So it's very interesting. Why is the Queen of Wands between the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups? And the King of Cups is all about the sword and the magician, but the Knight of Cups is all about a spa day. And the Queen of Wands is all about the galactic mushroom and the divine matrix. It looks like an egg too. This looks like banana peels peeled back, like with some kind of egg in the middle, or like a coconut type thing with something carved into it. You know, that could be art too, right? Carving into coconuts. And we could be talking about Bornea. We'll see if more comes up regarding these. I'm going to leave these out for a minute. I haven't really felt into these cards too much yet, so I'm sure much more will come. So I want to see what came out on the other side of it. The Horseman, so there's Mr. Ed. The Herald of Change with the 30 of the Union. And that came out earlier today when I first pulled the cards, that there could be union coming up here soon. That's what it said. So, yeah, it's brand new for me, so. The Horseman, a herald of change with the home and union. Okay, let's see what the journey of love has for you guys. The three cards are funny because I was just talking about all that stuff, and I was at this. I had that massage at the spa this weekend too with my sister. It's so funny when it comes up as the sister not sleeping, because my sister, I'm not doing that because my sister can't sleep, but she doesn't sleep well at all. But that always comes up. They're two different energies that always come up together. It's 7 o'clock on the dot now, which is the double zeros behind the 7 of the Chariot, the vehicle of infiltration. With a lot of source energy backing it up. The Chariot's the feminine within the masculine, ascending. Right? It's like you're the energy charge for the masculine. Right? He's the vehicle, and you're the energy. All right, journey of love. What is our takeaway from the messages today? We have devoted to the small, and this is one of there's very few black and white cards in this deck, and this is one of the few. So this is definitely about that mother and nurturing the child, the vulnerable, whether it's a child or an old person who's not doing well, or a pet, or your flowers, whatever it is. It's all about the journey of being devoted to the small. And then we have the eruption of light, which is the Heros Gamos energy. That's hitting that 0 point and going pew, in both directions at the same time. In all space-time. All directions of time, space. I'm getting the magician. I'm literally seeing the magician here. I don't normally see a person in that, but I am today. I'm seeing... Oh, look, notice here, I never noticed that either before, too. It's the Y, right? Because it's going up one section here and then two here. And of course, it looks like a lens. And it's the 11 of alignment on the journey. I'm getting to just now, just when you least expect, right? Because she's busy, taking care of, tending to her flowers or her little ones. And then all of a sudden, boom, this comes in. And that was like my electricity coming back on today. And then she loves. The bottom of the deck is the intimacy card, right? Being in the vortex, the two of you. And then beneath that is the cloak. And there's that periwinkle too. The 50 of the family, the 10 of cups was reversed in this read. So again, that person just really contemplating that family or emotional fulfillment regarding family and what would make you happy. And what's making somebody happy is about being one-to-one with your best friend, basically, and the intimacy of the wounded warrior here. And then after the three cards that came out, we have fire and ice, which is all about the polarity. Now, as red came up, the red and blue, of course, that's very political. And then we have that Jesus energy standing in the middle, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Merging to the middle to balance. And once we start merging toward the middle, then the outliers go away, just like in math, right? You can take the outliers out of the equation, and then we don't have those extreme polarities anymore. So this is the way they came out. Devotion to the small, the eruption of light, all right? And these are very opposite energies. This is very casual and calm and loving, and this is like, boom, very passionate and connected. And then here is the she loves. It's kind of like the afterglow. Or taking a risk to love herself. And then the King of Wands comes up again with the 37 of fire and ice. And I'm getting Isis. I don't usually, but I'm getting Isis. And remember, this is the 37 as well, right? So the fire and ice is coming up with the 37 over here. And then Isis could come up as that Queen of Wands energy, right? She's very passionate. Because we have the feminine right here and the afterglow of the masculine right here, right? Because it's like they're in different physical places, but they're in Heros Gamos together here. And he's now paying attention to the light down there, which is coming up as her, literally. okay? He's now beginning to see her light because of this Hieros energy and her devotion to the small and the intimacy and the underlying energy. So very interesting. I have to read that to you. The first one out is devotion to the small, the 32. Number 24 just popped up open. The spaces between the words is coming up as the Queen of Wands. Right, the space between the words, which can get very dramatic, right? Because the Queen of Wands is very dramatic as compared to the Knight and the King of Cups. And then we have 32. And of course, they're 6 degrees apart, 24 and 32. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's 8. But the 24 is a 6 as well, so that's why that 6 was coming up. So the 32 is devotion to the small. She bows, she honors growth. She sees that within the smallest flower there's a teaching of the earth, the gospel of Gaia, the mystery of life demonstrated. She recognizes that she too is of nature, subject to the mysteries of growth and life, that in honoring nature is taking pleasure in life. She opens her heart to allow great creation to happen through her. This is the feminine wisdom, alive in men and women with open hearts. There's an innate wisdom within you that understands this devotion to the Earth Mother as an important step in fulfilling your spiritual destiny on this planet. She's speaking to you now, letting you know that there's a small change happening, something that's growing within you that you may recognize but not think is so important. Yet she tells you now that it's very significant. Soon you will see that what you thought was a seed to yield a single flower is actually blossoming into a large or lush garden of manifestation. Gratitude and love for the small changes happening are leading you into fullness that you can only dream of. Enjoy. The message of this oracle for you is that your blossoming is occurring now, and the Mother or the Earth Mother has gratitude for your presence within her being, for the work you are doing to help other human beings. She asks for you to surrender any concern you have to her and to let her creative power continue to gently guide you in your rightful place in the world, that you may shine as you were born to do, in service to the evolution of this planet. She's helping you now. Trust her. A flower is a poem that tells you the truth of a thought in the fragrance of a dream, as fleeting as a heartbeat, as lasting as a memory. And the next page is God Speaks, and it's 33. So that's pretty cool. Okay. So it's really very earthy today, about connecting to the earth. And literally the earth feeling your connection and then reciprocating the energies back to you. So it's very important to stay connected to Mother Earth. And it just has to do with energy of knowing who you are, knowing your worth, doing things to be good to yourself, to have happiness and joy. That's not about suffering or sacrifice. It's not the point. It's about appreciating the little things. Okay, and to breathe. Don't forget to breathe deeply. And drink your water. And get your beauty rest. And your joy and your fun. All of it. You deserve all of it. So, take it easy, you guys. Rise and be love. I'll see you soon. Have an amazing day. And sleep well. Night, night.